Okay, we've answered a plentiful amount of questions revolving around anime, such as whether or not anime booba determines anime girl flotation, if thighs can crush a human skull, and if theoretically anime girls are mouth breathers, due to the practically minuscule growth on their face that they label as a nose. Anime girls are mouth breathers, there's no disputing that. Their nose is smaller than a nail. Though, what they lack in breathing capabilities, they excel in eyesight with their massive, round, and, dare I say, captivating, non-in-depth perceiving spheres, or their eyes for simple terms. And this is due to the fact that anything in 2D can't perceive anything in 3D, so essentially, considering that 2D has no depth, they can't actually perceive depth. I mean, one would think, as the eyes of anime man and woman adorn their faces, have many notable qualities, and one of those qualities being large size. To ignore the gratuitously large eyes and their potential capabilities that may hold would be a shame. It makes you wonder the perplexing anatomical possibilities, such as how good is anime character vision, and in what way is it comparable to ours? Well, let's find out. For science! Okay, first I believe we need to take the eyes at face value and analyze the eyes with our own eyes, lest you be blind. Which in that case, don't worry, I shall attempt to break this down as easy to visualize with imagination as possible, lest your imagination be poor, in which case I cannot help you. No, the way an eye works and how much it is able to perceive is somewhat affected by size. You see, an eye is made up of components that work together to give an image for the brain to visualize. In order to see anything, light needs to pass through the dark spot in the center of the eye called a pupil. The pupil adjusting to take in more or less light by using the color part of the eye called the iris. To do that, the light passes into the cones in the back of the eye, and these cones then formulate an image and send it to the brain, and the brain then lets you visualize the image and, to put simply, allow you to see. Now, it would be reasonable to suggest this is in a much larger scale with an anime eye. All the components, the pupil, the cornea, the retina, it's all much larger, and one might even say they're ill-proportioned in comparison to the rest of the body. One might speculate that by the eye being larger, it allows the performance of an eye to be greater and more capable than a normal average human eye. Though, is it? Well, unfortunately, I don't have access to an anime person's eye, and I don't think any of them will give it to me voluntarily, so I'm going to have to make an educated guess on size, which by the looks of it is somewhat smaller than their hand, but bigger than their mouth. The average human eye is only about the size of a cherry. That is quite the stark difference. That's pretty big. Something worth noting as well is a human eye isn't the strongest eye in the animal kingdom, as human eyes are relatively useless in pitch black areas, are sensitive to extreme light, capture a limited field of vision, but can see an assortment of colors. Anime specimens can see color, and they still seem to struggle to see in the dark. That is quite cool, when one would think that by having larger eyes, they would have more cones, or at the very least, bigger cones that would allow them a more clear, sharp eyesight. The cones being the thing that reside in the back of the eye that allow for color to be absorbed and to allow a crisp, clear picture. And in theory, if you were to have more cones or bigger cones, you would get a more clear visualization of what is in front of you. This seems to not be true though, and considering how most anime specimens I analyze seem to have vision practically identical to a normal human eye, I believe an anime person's eye is exactly the same as a human eye in terms of functionality. It's just the size that's different, and has no advantages or benefits to it other than to be notably visually enticing. To put simply, anime person's eye are normal, they just look unconventional from how big they are. So, at the end of the day, anime people are just like you and me, it's just that they are very ill-proportioned. And with that, if you guys enjoyed this video, theoretically if you have watched this far, then you do enjoy my videos, feel free to leave a like, subscribe, share this with your neighbor, high school teacher, and your wife, and I'll be back to answer another question that I am scientist can answer.